North to south, coast to coast. This is the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Wanted to bring you a little quick piece of information here. It's something that might put a smile on your face at some point or in some way, shape, or form. Beginning with his tweets telling 4 Democrat congresswomen to go back to their countries of origin, President Donald Trump's ongoing barrage of vitriol. By the way, this is from William Cummings of USA Today, which explains the bias. Trump's ongoing barrage of vitriol against the freshman lawmakers known as the Squad has dominated headlines. Many political observers believe it's part of a deliberate strategy to make the 4 women, who hail from their party's progressive wing and whose views critics say are left of the political mainstream in the face of the Democrat Party, he wants to make them the face of the Democrat Party. Though many Americans have still never heard of the 4 House members, a CBS News poll released this week does show that those who are familiar with them don't tend to view them favorably. The poll, conducted from July 17th through the 19th by YouGov, asked 2,099 adults, about their views on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib. Of those 4, Ocasio-Cortez had the highest favorable rating of 23%, followed by Omar at 19%, Tlaib at 18%, and Pressley at 17%. Ocasio-Cortez had the highest unfavorable rating of 37%. 36% said they had an unfavorable opinion of Omar. 34% said the same of Tlaib. 28% said the same thing about Pressley. That's about accurate for me. The number of respondents who had a neutral view came in the same for all 4 congressmen at 19%. 36% said they did not know who Pressley was. 29% had not heard of Tlaib. 28% were unfamiliar with Omar. And only 21% did not know about Ocasio-Cortez. But the Squad did not fare much worse than congressional leadership. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was seen favorably by 16% of respondents. 40% held an unfavorable opinion of him. 26% were neutral. 18% said they'd never heard of him. 12% had a favorable view of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. 25% saw him unfavorably. 28% were neutral. 34% had never heard of him. 23% had a favorable view of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. 44% saw her unfavorably. 24% neutral. 9% hadn't heard from her or heard about her. Trump was seen favorably by 36% of respondents, unfavorably by 51%, neutrally by 11%. 2% said they'd never heard of him. So, the Squad is making itself, both known at a slower level than I thought was possible, and 2, it's not for the good. I think the president is absolutely right to keep hammering on the Squad as the face of the Democrat Party, because that is going to have a telling effect in the upcoming election. So tomorrow, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Robert S. Mueller III will begin to testify before a joint session of the House Oversight Committee and the House Intelligence Committee. I have talked about this at length because I think that it is a yawning trap for Robert S. Mueller III. I am extremely concerned about it, not because I'm worried about President Trump, but rather I am worried about the future of the FBI and the future of federal law enforcement in general, but certainly the future of the FBI. Because remember, Robert S. Mueller III was a previous FBI director. He was the FBI director before James Comey. What we have seen is that Robert S. Mueller III is political. He may be the genesis of politics in the FBI. James Comey certainly either is the actual start, the beginning point of politics in the FBI, or he carried on for Robert S. Mueller III. That and the other members of the upper management of the FBI have done grievous damage to that organization, turning it from the world's greatest federal law enforcement agency into an agency crippled and poisoned by politics. The Department of Justice, and with William Barr as the Attorney General of the United States, does give the President of the United States, for the first time in his presidency, somebody that is not trying to end his political career. I believe that, yes, I do believe that Rod Rosenstein, to a lesser degree Jeff Sessions, he was manipulated into having to stand back and watch all this unfold. I think those people were moving in a concerted level, in a concerted way, to try to end the presidency of Donald Trump. I believe they were part of the deep state conspiracy. Just like Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Lisa Page, John Brennan, to a lesser degree, James Clapper, all of these people, part of the deep state conspiracy, and that is just plain obvious. So now what we have is Robert S. Mueller III, arguably another part of the deep state conspiracy, now testifying in front of two committees that are virulently anti-Trump. Virulently. The Department of Justice has echoed what I have brought up because of the possibility that Robert S. Mueller III might testify before these committees. I said he is absolutely being drawn into a trap that could cost him his freedom. Let me explain why. Robert Mueller can testify, but can only testify to the materials found in that report. To move beyond that report would immediately justify a conversation about, well, if that was so important, why didn't you put it in the report? Are we discussing the actual investigation, or are we discussing your opinion now? If the answer is opinion, then what will end up happening is that will blow up in everyone's face if it's his opinion. So what are you talking about? Why are we having this? We're not asking for an editorial. We're asking for a report on your report. If, on the other hand, he strays from the facts, if he strays and adds things, if he testifies beyond the report, then somebody's going to ask him, how come this wasn't in the report? Why did you leave it out? There are no easy answers to either of those questions. The Democrat Party is hoping to continue this, witch hunt, fishing expedition, whatever you want to call it, closer to the 2020 election. They are still hoping to damage President Trump egregiously. They have a problem in that they just had an impeachment vote that went down in flames, with Democrats joining Republicans and voting it aside. If these people attempt to impeach President Trump, it may very well be the end of the Democrat Party. So Robert Mueller has to testify to the four corners of the report and nothing more. He's put people in situations where he had testimony from other people and then brought the principals in for testimony, got two different answers, and then charged the person, in a perjury trap. You've heard that term. Well, this is essentially turning the tables on Robert S. Mueller III, and either the Democrats are too stupid to realize that's what they're doing, or they don't care. The Justice Department, for its part, has reached out to Robert S. Mueller III, and they indeed sent him a letter ordering him, warning him not to make news when he appears before the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees this week. It instructed him to keep his testimony, quote, within the boundaries of your public report, because matters within the scope of your investigation were covered by executive privilege. This can turn into a mess. Not necessarily for the president, but certainly for Robert S. Mueller III and the Democrats. In fact, Republicans are preparing an aggressive defense of President Trump surrounding former Special Counsel Robert S. Mueller III's congressional testimony, with the president's campaign and the party firing up a war room meant to highlight Democrat hypocrisy. GOP lawmakers are poised to use the hearing to scrutinize the origin of the Russia probe itself. Mueller has a problem. Before he was named to conduct this investigation, people familiar with all of this information said this is a nothing burger. There's no collusion between President Trump and the Russians. What I want to know is apparently that conclusion was reached pretty early on in the Mueller investigation. Why didn't it stop there? Well, because he was trying to play for obstruction of justice. It's hard to obstruct. It's hard to commit obstruction of justice when there is no crime having been occurred or having been committed. But yet, there are people that will swear to you right this very moment the president obstructed justice, which is pure hypocrisy, absolute hypocrisy. There are 16 counts of Hillary Clinton violating the Espionage Act, open and shut cases, and no obstruction of justice there. Let's talk about destroying subpoenaed emails. That is obstruction of justice, except when you're Hillary Clinton. Let's talk about the National Archives Act. Plain violations of Hillary Clinton as Department of Secretary of State, destroying communications devices, carrying national materials. All of these things happening. And no obstruction of justice. Not for Hillary Clinton, which takes us right to no president is above the law. But there are presidential candidates that are above the law, aren't there? Now, the only thing that can stop this from being a total bloodletting for the Democrat Party is Republican incompetence. Do I believe that that's possible? You're darn right I believe it's possible. All I can say is they better fix this. They better get this understood. And Robert S. Mueller III had better testify very carefully. There's also one other unique little thing that you need to be aware of. This is something that I hope the Republicans are able to pull off. What is it? Tell you next on the USA Radio Network.
Everyone loves liberty, so why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Stop letting others tell you what to do. Call us at 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or check us out online at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's a great deal on MyPillow. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, type in promo code USA, you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98. Now that's only $34.99 a pillow. You will not get that price anywhere at retail. It's the lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. And like all MyPillow products, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, use my promo code USA.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand and you care about your credit, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 6 million people with credit card debt. Without destroying your credit, they can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. The program works. Call Consolidated Credit now. Call 800-406-0046. 800-406-0046. That's 800-406-0046. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc. 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS and you cannot afford to make payments to the IRS, you may qualify for the CNC tax program. This is a new program, and if you qualify, you won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Once you're accepted into this program, the IRS is forced to stop all harassing collection activities. No threatening phone calls, no wage garnishments, no bank levies, and no more monthly payments to the IRS. Get ready to write this number down. It's the most important number you'll ever need to end your IRS tax nightmare. Call Paramount Tax Relief at 800-547-4804 for a free confidential consultation to find out if you qualify for the CNC tax program. Once you are accepted into the CNC tax program, you won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Call Paramount Tax Relief now at 800-547-4804. That's 800-547-4804. Again, 800-547-4804.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. Again, that's 800-871-3291.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US. Tomorrow, there will be testimony from Robert S. Mueller III regarding his report having to do with the supposed collusion of the Trump campaign with Russia, which was categorically denied by Robert S. Mueller III. The Department of Justice has admonished Mueller to stay within the framework of the report, period, with his testimony. It is, however, a possibility that if the Republican Party, if the Republicans on the committee play their cards right, they can blow up the entire report from stem to stern. How? How could that happen? Well, here's how. It is going to be possible for the Republican Party to put Robert S. Mueller III into a completely untenable situation if they pursue why it was that he continued with his investigation, ignored exculpatory evidence, that's evidence that proved President Trump to be blameless, innocent in many of the things that he was being charged with and indeed what he was investigating. If they do their job properly, they can quite possibly force Robert S. Mueller III into invoking his Fifth Amendment privilege. In other words, there may be a circumstance in which Robert S. Mueller III may indeed be forced to protect himself, not testify against himself under oath with regard to criminal activity in his own investigative process. If that indeed happens, it blows the entire report sky high. You may see that. That would be an historic circumstance. Absolutely historic. It would all but guarantee President Trump's reelection. It would absolutely mangle the credibility of both Gerald Nadler and Adam Schiff. It would be irreparable. It would be irreparable. There are a lot of people that want the former FBI director and special counsel to answer some serious questions. You did not charge President Donald Trump with collusion, obstruction, or any other new crime. Tell us why. If the answer is the evidence did not support it, please say so. Your report did not refer any crimes to Congress, the Southern District of New York, or anyone else. Again, tell us why. If the answer is the evidence did not support it, please say so again. Despite making no specific referrals, the report does state the conclusion that Congress may apply obstruction laws to the president's corrupt exercise of power in the office accords with our constitutional system of checks and balances and the principle that no person is above the law. Why did you include such a restating of a known fact? Many have read that line to mean you could not indict a sitting president, and so you wanted to leave a clue to Congress. Yet, you could have just spelled it out. This is beyond my and my Attorney General's constitutional roles and can only be resolved by Congress. Why didn't you? That is an excellent question. It is absolutely an excellent question. There's a follow-up to it. If you believe that the president was indeed guilty of obstruction of justice, would you have called for him to be indicted under those charges? The answer, of course, is yes. He absolutely would have. To say otherwise is pure D foolish sophistry. Unbelievable, in fact. What we will do tomorrow is we will bring you up to date on what Robert Mueller talks about as he goes and testifies before a joint session of the House Judiciary and Intelligence Committees. This is the USA Radio Network.
Hi, this is Wayne Allen Root. I have a voice problem. My voice easily gets hoarse. That's a big problem when you're a talk show host. I talk thousands of hours a year on radio and TV. I have to protect my voice. Well, those problems are a thing of the past. My throat is now a workhorse because of My Doctor Suggests all-natural silver lozenges. I pop these lozenges all day long and all show long. Silver has been used historically to destroy bacteria, viruses, and even yeast. Imagine sucking on a lozenge and letting the silver slowly and consistently destroy the cause of mouth, throat, and respiratory problems. Those lozenges work. I'm living proof. They're a miracle for me. Now a more advanced silver formula is available in a liquid gel or lozenge form, and you can get all three in one package and 20% off because War sent you. My Doctor Suggests the name of the company, but Wayne Root doesn't suggest. I urge you to try these remarkable all-natural lozenges today. Call 866-660-9868. That's 866-660-9868, or go to mydoctorsuggest.com/root. Use promo code USA Radio to save 20% off. That's mydoctorsuggest.com/root.